OCO, beautiful souls, peace, love, and light. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button, thumb up this video, comment below should it resonates with you. This is a general reading for the collective, so please only take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I do feel like everyone's going to find value here, but it's important that you use your own discernment, whether it be this reading or personal reading. You're responsible for your actions and reactions, okay? With that out of the way, for those of you that were asking, yes, personal reading slots are open. The link is always in the description. Read the terms of service and the frequently asked questions before you book, because once you book a reading, you're pretty much agreeing to those two things. And lastly, for those of you asking, soul guidance sessions are on hold right now. When they open back up, I only do 3 people at a time at the moment. So they're on hold because the tab is giving me an issue on the website. And I want you guys to understand what all is required of you during a soul guidance session before you actually book one. But once they're open, I'm only going to be taking 3 people at a time because I have to make sure that the right type of energy is placed into each reading, and I don't want to pretty much exhaust myself, exhaust my energy or your energy. With that out of the way, we're going to hop into this beautiful reading. I went to my ancestors and I said, what we got for the collective? And they were like, oh, we're so glad you're asking. Here you go. Everything you see here flew out beautifully with strong energy. I also feel like I'm going to be going to the bottom of the decks because I feel like they're going to confirm everything we see here. That's just how beautiful this energy feels to me. So we have Ace of Fire, creative new beginning, inspiration. We have Vision Quest. Vision Quest is the hangman of this tarot. What I love about this, though, is this is talking about turning your belief systems upside down. Many of you have been on a spiritual journey for a while, but you're just getting to the point where you really are starting to see the synchronicities and really starting to trust it. Before it was like, okay, I started the journey because all this weird stuff kept happening to me. Now it's turning into, okay, this is real. This is happening. this is a thing. And then for others, you're just starting and you're trying to get used to coming out of your box. You're trying to get used to coming out of your shell. The hangman is turning all of that, or rather, I'd rather keep it the way it's described here. The vision quest is saying that now it's time to go within and cleanse out anything in your system, anything in your belief system that does not serve your highest purpose or purposes. I like to say that we come here with 2 very strong purposes. One is a part of the collective purpose. The other is our own personal purpose that can tie into many different things, but it's of us and it's our own. And it's time that you raise and level yourself up into that higher form. Many of you were afraid of doing that. You were afraid of leveling up. Even if your belief system about yourself was toxic, if you believed you weren't good enough, for example, it's a bad belief. It hurts you. It causes pain, but it's a pain that you recognize. And when people get comfortable with a pain, it's the thought process of coming out of that and then trusting or being guided, and heaven forbid they should fall. They think that the fall is going to hurt them so much worse than the pain they were used to. That thought process isn't serving you. That belief system isn't serving you. Many of you, you limit your identity. You limit your identity to sexual occupation. You limit your identity to just the cultural background. You limit your identity to your occupation. Many of you do that. Let's say you're a doctor. Should you, for whatever reason, not be a doctor tomorrow, the title's taken from you, or you did whatever may happen, now you just feel like you have nothing to live for. Because you took all that time and you put all that work into becoming this doctor. And when that title's taken away, you feel like a huge part of your identity is taken away. But that's not true. Your true identity, it's not limited. It's abundant. Our physical forms, and I want you to change the way you think of the word physical. The way we're taught physical is just very solid, right? And in some incidents, solid is a good thing. In this instance, we're taught solid as a limiting source. Our hand can't go through a wall because we're solid. Well, there are shamans and monks who say otherwise. Like, you'd be shocked what you can do when you actually awaken, right? But it's the reason that we don't believe in certain things. It's not because we didn't see it. The reality is, as kids, we see magic everywhere, all the time. We see the beauty in everything all the time. But we start to be told that's your imaginative friend. We start to get told, we get told all these different things that over time, it takes and it dims that creative light. It dims that inspirational light that comes with being able to see the world for what it is. Fear. Fear, it's really not of you. It's implanted. People say a baby's fear is being dropped, and to an extent this is true, but it's not their first fear. It's still a taught fear. When you throw a child in the air, the average baby, pick up a baby just in the air, they giggle, they laugh, they're excited. Why? Number one, they trust you to catch them. Number two, they have no limited belief in their mind that they're not going to survive that fall. It's not that they've never felt pain before, right? They had to have their body squeezed through a very tight space. I guess it's not that they don't understand the process of birthing and coming into a new world and being confused, but their conscious level is so connected. That's why babies can look at spirits and angels and different beings all the time and reach for them and talk with them and grab them, because they don't have a veil over their mind. But as they get older, society integrates, parents begin to do their thing. They get indoctrinated, so to speak, and then that changes their whole process. Now they're part of the matrix, as some of you would say. But think of how fast a child learns. Think of how, when you make it fun, think of how excited a child is to learn anything. Doesn't matter what it is. Just like so excited, because they don't have a limited belief in what they can absorb and in what they can learn. When they start to become self-conscious, pay attention. It's based around how the adults or other children or people around them think, right? Now, that's not saying that they shouldn't be taught to be mindful and cautious of certain things, but that fear thought of I can't move forward, that fear thought of if I take that leap, I'm going to just fall and bust my behind, instead of I can take that leap, I might fall, but I, brush it off and get back up. Kids do it all the time. Fall, scrape a knee, get right back up, act like nothing ever happened. Right? Get a cut. Could be bleeding. Like, over it in like 2 seconds once you kiss it and put the Band-Aid on it. But once you become an adult, those same that mentality that a kid has, that same thought, it goes away. And now when you fall and you get even the slightest cut, it's like, oh no, I'm not returning to that anymore, even if it means I'm going to deal with some other kind of toxic pain. Vision Quest is saying, no, it's time to cleanse all this out. It's time to open your eyes and really see the universe and the divine, and that you are a part of it. Whatever your background and belief system are, you are a part of that grand design, a part of that intricate web, which means you cannot be limited. You're not just a small little sprinkle. You're not insignificant. That's what this is about. There's no way for you to be insignificant. The fact that you exist and that you're breathing right now means that you are a part of the expression that is existence. Let that marinate for a second. You are a part of the expression that is existence itself, be it in spirit form or in this earthly physical form. So change your thought process of physical just meaning this solid, limited thing. And instead, think of it as the earthly. When we think of earth has so many wonders to it. Earth has so many caverns and caves and deep oceans and mountain tops and skies and peaks. It's a vast, vast place, even when it can seem small. It's both vast and it's a tight collective all at the same time. So if you can understand that you will always expand, everything you do expands. You'll never feel the need to think of another beneath you. You'll never feel the need to really go through confrontation. It doesn't mean that you turn the light off and you can't recognize, say, injustices or when things go wrong or people's BS, or that you have to tolerate all of a sudden kumbaya and all that jazz. That's not what that means. But you realize, wait a minute, I'm a part of a grand design, not in a conceited way, but in I can shift, that my actions can shift this world for the better. And we all affect each other. All of us, we all have an effect on each other. We have the 4 of fire, which is the 4 of wands, and it's sage, which speaks to that cleansing out I was talking about. I know they had me go on and on with this card, but it speaks to that cleansing out that I was talking about, that feeling of completion, that feeling that we can celebrate now because we're clearing the air. Many of you need to clear the air, like really walk around your house with sage. And then there are some of you who you need to clear the air with different friends and family on what you're not going to tolerate from them anymore. And if that means you must vision quest and go out on your own and get away from them and recharge yourself and your energy, then sweetheart, so be it. So be it. Because when you heal, understand this. I need you to understand how strong your position is. When you heal, You help the world heal because your existence is not insignificant. So that means the next person you come across, when you can give them the compassion, now because you can allow yourself to be open to do so, you can change that whole person's perspective. I open up most of my readings, or in all of my readings, with peace, love, and light, beautiful souls, because you are a beautiful soul. You just can't see it right now. Many of you can't see it right now. Some of you might say, yeah, I know spirit and abundance and all that jazz. And when it comes down to it, if I was to sit you down in a soul session, I would find all these belief systems that contradict this whole woke, I'm aware of how great my soul is. Like, I would find them, because the reality is there's always something in the back of the subconscious that scratches at the mind, some type of limited word, a limited belief, a limited thought process. This is saying, look, clear it out and celebrate when you clear it out. Do a dance if you have to, but cleanse it out. Clear the air. There's no need to stay in a negative, tight, restricted vibration. Expand. And once you expand and you think I can't go any further, guess what? You can go further than that. Expand some more. You're abundant. You're an abundant void. And I don't mean void in the sense of lack. I mean void in the sense that your cup can be filled and filled and filled, and you can feel the love and feel the love and still have room for more love. Let that marinate, right? And then we have integration here, which I was speaking of, about us being a part of the grand design. This is the Temperance card. This is that balance and harmony. Harmony and balance comes when you allow yourself to go through these first three steps here. Everything just feels aligned. You could be in a state of absolute, like, there's just chaos going on around you. And again, it's not that you put on blinders or anything, but you're able to center yourself, head up high, shoulders back. Now, who do you need to help? Who needs your help? Whose help do you need? How can the collective come together and heal? It doesn't matter how small of a job you may have. You might be working at McDonald's right now. It doesn't matter. You're not meant to stay there forever. You're not meant to be a part of that forever. Go ahead and collect that coin. Invest in something. Expand yourself. Open your mind. All right? We're going to get into these cards here, and then we're going to get into Celeste and Cardiwin, because they also came to pay us a visit. We have this card here, which is number 31, and I feel like that may mean something to some of you. This desert feeling, some of you, many of you actually, you kind of feel like, yeah, I recognize my journey and I'm noticing my gifts, but I just feel like every time I go to implement them or really manifest what I'm believing, I get stuck, or I don't know how to do it. I don't have the help, so on and so forth. Resilience through inspiration is how you keep going. Let me make something clear to you. There's no such thing as a lack of inspiration. What happens is the mind believes that it's limited with a thought process or an idea. It thinks that something it put out or something it did was the greatest thing it's ever done and it can't go any further. Or it thinks that it's not able to do something great, but it is a thought process. It's a belief system that can be turned around. Typically, the hangman's in the upside down position in a meditative state because he's literally dropping out everything from his body. When the hangman's in this position, his feet are towards the sun. That's one of the most powerful asanas in yoga, pulling the sun energy into the feet, down into the crown chakra. This meditative state, whether you're following the sun head on, eagle vision, or whether you're actually in this upside down yoga position, activating your crown, at the end of the day, inspiration is always there because it's always around you. It's abundant. Whether you get it from the earth planes, celestial planes, or astral planes, it's always around you. You have to remind yourself on a regular basis, I'm abundant. Creative ideas flow to me all the time. Let yourself be inspired by others. Collaborate with others if you have to. Again, we come from unity to find creative ways to come back together in loving unity. It's not, and I know that you guys have been taught this a long time, and some of you really believe it, but no, it's not human nature to be hateful or spiteful or dark or evil. In fact, these journeys these dark journeys we have to go through, we're only going through them because at some point in time, there was a collective that said, you know what? we're going to go rogue. We're going to go rogue. We're going to start some ish. And of course, it affects everyone. So now everyone has to go through these different forms of expression. The universe doesn't really see you as imperfect. You do. And it's not saying that you have to put yourself on a pedestal. It's saying that the universe finds your design to be so unique, so individual, that each and every single one of us, the mold was broken for each and every single one of us. We're all amazing. We're all meant to see the greatness in ourselves, which helps us to see the greatness in another. We're not meant to feel like we're above someone. We're not meant to feel like, and some of us may be wiser because we went through certain things, but then we're meant to pull others up with us. We're meant to help others level up into that position. So yes, you can seek mentors and teachers. Yes, do that. But understand our purpose. Whether we're giving you soul guidance, readings, whatever it is, our purpose is to help you become enlightened. It's to help you reach a higher state of being and belief in yourself. And then you can pass it on. And it passes it on. And by the time you blink, it's a shared experience amongst the collective. Because we're all a part of a grand design. All of us. And we can choose how we wish to express ourselves in it. When you feel like you're in the desert, thirsty, with no water, which I find interesting considering the Celeste is here, you have to remind yourself that, first of all, the human body is made up of how much water? Right? Like, I'm just saying, you can manifest anything by having the resilience to go forward. I'm actually going to read from this card because I feel like I'm getting the feeling it's going to fit exactly what I'm saying. And yes, it will. Dig deep for inspiration and truth. Now is the time to become resilient and adaptable. Adapting to your surroundings, adapting to your situation. Something feel hard right now? Adapt to it. And honestly, if you think about it, haven't you been doing that all your life anyway? How much stuff have you survived? Have you even taken the time to, instead of looking at what you've survived as trauma, pain, which is a part of, have you ever tried looking at it as, wow, for lack of forgive the language, but wow, I'm the shit because I survived all of that. Clearly. There are some who couldn't. There's some who they couldn't. Their mentality, they didn't have anybody to inspire them to, and they're out of here. Whether it's mentally, physically, or otherwise, and you're still standing. That in and of itself should inspire you. That in and of itself will damn sure inspire another, you dig? We're going to move into tsunami. Tsunami. Wake up call. The tsunami card in readings from me, it's a mix. It's between the tower, that sudden change, which can feel crazy and hectic. I personally don't see the tower as bad. Though I can agree that in some situations, depending what else is going on in that scenario, yeah, it can get dark. But however, it's still a sudden change. It's meant to create forced transformation. It means that you've been getting the signs to do better, to change and whatever. You haven't done it. So boom, here comes a sudden tower to force you on the path. Most of the time, and you want some tea? The tea is most of the time it's your higher self that did it. I know everybody goes, the divine. Yeah, but most of the time it's your higher self because your higher self been there, done that. And it can see where you're going to end up. So because you're sitting here procrastinating, that inner higher self, that inner ascended master that exists within you pushes you forward. And many a time it's through a tower moment. Just FYI, in case you ever wonder why them tower moments seem to be so similar, there's a message there. There's something you're not learning. In this case, I feel like tsunami is the wake-up call of, you've ever had like a really stressful day and you get in the shower and whatever pressure is good pressure to you, the pressure, like it just, it beats down on your back and it gets out all those kinks and knots and you just feel great and you feel cleansed. When you come out the shower, it's that type feeling. That's what I feel with the tsunami card. If you've ever had the pleasure of sitting under a waterfall for meditation, which I haven't done in a very long time and I really need to get back to do. I need a waterfall like ASAP. But if you've ever done it, the pressure feels amazing. It's not, when we think pressure, we think, under pressure. That just channeled it. Doom, 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 doom. We think of heaviness, tiredness, fatigue. But when you're under them waterfalls and that pressure is getting out every single kink and you're in a meditative state and it's clearing out every single negative thought, belief, process, whatever, from whomever, the refreshing feeling is amazing. Or when you go to get a massage and they put pressure in just the right place. That's how I view the tsunami, but in a very dramatic, huge way. So instead of it just being I'm waking up different parts of the body, which some of you may have been experiencing, some of you might experience pain in certain areas of the body or pressure in certain areas of the body. And if you pay attention to what's going on in your energy field and what's going on in your thought process, that's an area that needs fixing and cleansing out. For some people, because they got a lot they deal with, when they start to ascend, they get these really intense pains in certain areas. Not to say that you still shouldn't go to a doctor or anything. Just pay attention to when certain pains and feelings are picking up, especially when they're like in your hands and your feet, the bottom base of your back where the root chakra is. Pay attention because those are areas where you're waking up and they need attention. They need cleansing out. They need curing, so to speak. And I feel like the tsunami is kind of like that big wave of pressure that can push all of those kinks out, should you allow and accept it. I'm going to read you guys this beautiful card here. I love these cards. I just said this. Enlightenment is a journey. I show compassion to myself and all living beings. Why? Because all living beings are part of our grand design and collective. I can be centered within chaos. All my past lives brought me to this perfect moment of realization and wisdom. Why? Because you've survived those harshnesses. You've gotten to the point where as you step on this journey, you've turned those belief systems upside down. If you have not done this yet, this is the current road that you're on. You'll know if you've already experienced some of this happening and you just was like, I don't know how to word it. I don't know. You'll recognize it here. But for some of you that feel so compelled to watch, this is a journey that's taking place. This is your encouragement. Let's see what Celeste has to say. I'll try to get this to focus. There we go. We have Celeste can assist you in any type of healing, bless any ceremony or ritual with water, or curse those who have wronged you. Foresight and guidance. It's time you recognize your own needs and prioritize yourself. Go near water and take time away to recharge. Notice how that fits the vision quest in the sense that a big part of a vision quest is going out on your own. Like that's a huge part of it. It fits harmony, coming into balance, having something to celebrate because you cleared the air, you cleansed your space. Let's get into Carduin. Call upon Carduin to help you create change and transformation in your life, tsunami. Or when you need a boost to inspire you. What do we have sitting here? Foresight and guidance. You have reached the end of a cycle. Don't fear this ending. Let it go so that something new can enter your life. Because you're what? Cleaning the air. Look at how I love when the synchronicities. Let's go to the bottom of the deck. We're in autumn right now. Release. Wake up call to release. We have transformation. Letting something that doesn't serve you anymore, let it die out, let it move on, let it transition. Let it transform so that you can transform. We have Golden Palace, 23. Threes might be significant to some of you guys. Of course, the single digits that those numbers add up to might be significant. I'm going to actually read. I'm going to read that. I feel like it needs to be read. Golden Palace. Oh, well, now I see why it needs to be read. We have, there is always enough. There is always enough time. There is always enough energy. There's always enough resources. There's always, I'm getting all kinds of things. At the end of the day, you are enough. And because you are enough, there's always enough to do all of this, to be inspired by all of this. From this deck, we have I'm going to show you guys this picture. Let me see, because this is gorgeous. Can we get it to adjust? Yes, that is gorgeous. We have both darkness and light are necessary. There is light even in the darkest of nights. I accept that I am a part of the cycle of nature. I open myself to new wonders every day. That's what this whole reading is about. And we have, for those of you that might also love the color green, we have Ogun, the god of iron, at the bottom of the deck. These cards are slippery, so I have to. My soul sister, Maruk, her store, she's the creator of this deck. Her store will be in the link. We have Ogun can help you attract more work, customers, money, and have success in your endeavors. And we do have creative new beginning, creative inspiration, right? Through hard work. He can help you with success through your endeavors through hard work. And remember, work smart. Hard work doesn't always mean running your fingers down to the bone. Work smart. Foresight and guidance. Nothing will come to you without putting in the hard work. Stop doubting yourself. Work hard and make it happen. Stop doubting yourself. I don't know if the ancestors and the the deities can scream that enough. The ascended masters can scream that enough, but that's the message here. You are fully capable. You are love. You are light. You are loved. And everything that you wish for, everything that you inspire to be, it's in the palm of your existence. In the palm of your hand, it's in the core of your existence. Remember, the core of your existence is not limited to this form. Respect this earthly form. You want to respect it. It's a part of the grand design. It's a part of the frequency and the energies. However, you want to remember that you're a part of something bigger. I'm hearing the Beyonce song now. You're part of something way bigger. So don't worry about being under pressure. Hey, that's the way it came out, okay? All right, my loves, that's your reading. I pray that resonates with all of you. Blessings to you and much love.